and welcome to another Dark Reign video. This time I'm going to be showing you our Dire Frost Keep Guide, and first up is the boss known as Teeth Gnasher. So for this particular dungeon we decided to run with 3 DPS and 1 healer. Now with this boss you'll notice that as you're kiting him around you're probably better off with a tank, by the way, because you can just keep him in one position. In this case he's just chasing us all around like madmen. But as you can see at the base of his feet there is a small red circle. Now if you are stood within that red circle you will receive damage over time, and it's quite sizable, especially if you're not the tank. It does hit pretty hard. Not only that, you will be within his melee range, so if he decides to strike you whilst you're in that red circle you will take considerable damage. Is it easier with a tank? Yeah, absolutely. But we like a challenge here at Dark Reign, so we thought it'd be a bit of a laugh to have 3 DPS and 1 healer. Now to be fair, this guy doesn't have a lot of health. These 3 DPS that I've got running with us absolutely shredded to death. It was 2 Dragon Knights and 1 Nightblade, I believe, and we absolutely smashed him. So this boss, guys, I don't think you're going to have any major issues with. Next up is the Guardian of Flame. So this boss, guys, he does have a slightly bigger health pool than the previous boss and does hit a little bit harder, to be fair. Now the main danger thing with the Guardian of Flame is the fact that he's got very, very hefty melee attacks. If he gets one of those charged attacks off on you and you are not the tank, you will go down. It was one-bombing us easily when we didn't have a tank. In this particular fight there is 3 DPS and just me healing, and it seems to go alright because his attacks are quite dodgeable. Every now and then he'll pick a member of the group and throw down an AoE type effect in that area. It's quite a large red circle, so you can see it quite easily. All you've got to do is roll out of that bad boy. If you've not got any stamina to roll, just walk out of it and hope the healer keeps you standing long enough so that you can actually get out of it. Now, when we were running this, he does hit extremely hard with that charged attack, guys. Don't even try and block it. If you see it coming towards you, get out of his range, otherwise he's going to put the serious hurt into you. Unless you're the tank. The tank can take a beating from this guy with very, very little problems. Now as we manage to burn this guy down, I just tend to switch to some of my damage based powers on my alternate bar, and we just burn him for the last few seconds because a Templar's got a very powerful finisher, so once he's in execution range he does bleed out quite quickly. But again, I don't think you're going to have any problems with this, guys. Stay out of his AoEs. Next up, Droda's Dreadlord. So, Droda's Dreadlord, slightly more difficult than the previous bosses, has a bigger health pool and is much more dangerous in combat. He hits a lot harder, has more moves, and has a different mechanic in comparison to the other guys. So in this particular fight, he summons small ice minions and they walk toward your group in the vicinity. Now when they get close enough to you, they explode, like that one right next to me there. If he explodes and you're caught in it, and you have any less than say 10k health at this particular stage, then you will go down. It hits extremely hard and it will wipe you out, so you do need to be switched on when them things are roaming around because they will down you immediately. Now bear in mind we're still not running with a tank, and again this could well have been a lot easier if we decided to tank, but we didn't care, we fancied a bit of a challenge. Now the thing with this guy is he also has a series of brutal melee attacks, one in particular that he was just doing there where he's swinging his axe around his head. If you are caught in his AoE, in his range of attack, when he gets that off, you will go down. Now if you get caught in it and there's nothing you can do, hold block and pray to God that you've got enough stamina and the healer's got enough magicka to keep you alive. As you can see, I was not paying attention. So the little ice golem thing snuck up behind me. I didn't see him there, boom, he blew me up. But luckily my teammates are extremely switched on. They pick me up immediately. I wake up with no resources whatsoever, so I can hit my supercharge and it'll just fill everybody up, and then I can recover some magicka as the fight continues. But he is a little bit tougher, guys, a little bit tougher. If you do decide to run with a tank, you can always tank him away from the area where he spawns his ads, which is sort of what we've done. We've all just congregated down the other end and kept him well out of the way. But he does put out a lot of hurt, guys, real huge amounts of damage, so stay out of his way. Good luck. Next up is the Mighty Ice Heart. This is a really fun boss fight, really enjoyed this one. He's got a fair bit going on, but moves quite slowly, so you've got enough time to get out of the way should he decide to want to put the hurt down on you. Now, he's got quite a few different types of attacks. He's got, you know, a range of melee-based swings that he does occasionally when he's close enough to one of your allies. But he also has quite a large AoE stomp, which he's about to pull off now. Boom. Get caught in that AoE, sizable amount of damage comes in. Hope healer's on the ball to mitigate that. Now, not only that, when he punches his fist in the ground and he summons these little crystals, if you're caught in that red circle when he summons it and it goes off, that will cause damage to you. So try to be out of its way. It does take a while to get off, so you'll probably have enough time to get out of the way. Now, on the downside of that, when those crystals do break, little ads spawn. And when the ads start to stack up, they will obviously cause more and more damage and make your life a lot more difficult, especially if you're the healer. So if you've got good DPS, the likelihood is they'll burn all of these ads anyway with AoEs and splash damage and still be able to put a decent amount of hurt down on the main boss. But the main key with this guy is stay out of his way and just stay out of the red. Anybody who's sitting in the red all the time and is not moving is going to completely drain all your resources because you're trying to keep them up. And then when something heavy comes in, you're not going to have the resources available to tidy up the rest of the group. See, they've all taken massive damage there, and luckily I've got enough resources available to heal them. But not a particularly difficult boss fight, but more interesting than the last one. Good boss fight. Next up is the Droda of Icereach. So, the Droda of Icereach, aka the Mega Bitch. This girl can be a real pain in the ass, guys, especially if you don't have the DPS to burn her down. Now, what this little bitch does to the entire scrap, she has a continuous heal over time on her, from what I can gather. So your DPS need to be doing a really good job to keep burning her down. To help them out, if anybody in your team does happen to have a power that reduces healing received, then get them to use it. Unfortunately, on this occasion, I was the only one that had it, so I had 3 DPS to keep alive, plus I had to debuff this girl's heals, which was an absolute nightmare to stay on top of. But it's really rewarding if you get it done the right way. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't down 100% of the time. There was other things I had to concentrate on, such as making sure I had enough magicka, keeping them alive, debuffing her, etc. But it's a nice challenging boss fight, provided you've got a decent group for it. If you've got a really bad group and the DPS just aren't up for it, you will get to this boss and likely fail. She takes a hell of a beating, so your DPS have got to be on the money. So what she tends to do is she has a various amount of ranged based attacks since she's a staff user, and also every now and then she will teleport. Now once she teleports, she usually teleports to a group member, and once there, she charges and activates an AoE based damage. Now this hits pretty hard, so you don't want to be in it when it goes off. After that, at some stage, she'll summon a couple of ads, and they're usually Ice Wraiths. Now these Ice Wraiths hit pretty hard, and also if you don't down them, she's going to keep stacking them up. Every time she teleports, she's going to keep building them up. So make sure your DPS know that the targets are out and about, that they're not abusing you if you're the healer, and that they need to be downed. Now if you are healing this and you don't have a tank, and she starts to get low and you want to use your finisher, like I'm doing here, just be careful. Make sure you're concentrating on keeping the group alive, as opposed to putting out that little bit of additional extra damage as and when you can. Do it when it's safe to do so. Remember, your priority is support. Keep the guys alive, keep them buffed, and if you can put out some hurt, do so. But as you can see, we managed this with 3 DPS and 1 healer. So not a bad job at all. And of course, she gets the obligatory teabag in the face. Much love, darling. Dark Reign.